Hello and welcome to another tutorial from CamiPaige Boutique. I'm Brooke Tannehill and today I'm showing you how I created this Pastel Geode Tumbler. I have a previous Geode tutorial that shows how I created a similar look with a black base, but this is a new take on the technique in a completely different color scheme. As always, all the products I use will be listed in the description below, and you may even find a coupon code or two that saves you some coin. Also, we just launched our Facebook group, so check out the link below to take advantage of a bunch of upcoming freebies and giveaways that you aren't going to want to miss. So without further hesitation, let's go ahead and get started. For this cup, I started with a fully prepped and sanded 30-ounce fatty from Parish Tumblers, spray painted it white, and in a live video, I did the bottom portion of the geode, but what I wanted to show you here is how I did the top section, even though it is the exact same method that we used for the bottom portion of the geode. So the first two colors that we used were Sugar Plum Fairy, Blue Skies, Lace, and Emerald Coast Waters. And these colors are all from Boujie Glitter Boutique. And then the center part that I'm using is called Mermaid Kisses from Starcraft Glitters. I am a horribly messy crafter, and so what I did is I organized my glitters in, this is called the Lin from Design Lingo, and it allows me to keep my glitters separate and not knock them over and keep them in order that I want to use them as well. So it just highly keeps me organized, and I will link it below if you guys are interested. But what I do is I just get a old paintbrush, dab on some Mod Podge in the shape that I want, and then apply the glitter over that shape just to get that nice look of the geode that I'm going for. Once I apply the first glitter, I go immediately into the second, lining it up right next to it. So again, starting with the Mermaid Kisses, then I went into Sugar Plum Fairy, and that blue that you're seeing there, even though it looks purple, is actually called Blue Skies. But what you can see is I'm just dabbing on the Mod Podge right up against that strip of the previous glitter color, and just kind of a random design that I think represents the geode shape that I'm going for. So just dabbing on the Mod Podge, getting a nice kind of rugged look, and then coming in with the glitter. So here I'm using Lace. Again, this is from Boujie Glitter Boutiques, and it's a beautiful silver white, I guess is the best way to explain it. I just really, really love this color. But once I applied that, I get my paintbrush again and just come in with a Mod Podge again, right next to that previous color, and dab on the Mod Podge. You do not want to drag or do like brush strokes. You want to dab, because that way you get enough Mod Podge on the cup that the glitter has plenty of adhesive to attach to. So right here, just dabbing it on, going around the previous layer and just creating the shape that I want for this geode. And this is the exact same technique that I followed for the bottom of the geode that you're seeing there, or the previous slice of the geode, I guess you could call it as well. This color is called Emerald Coast Waters, and I love it. It's a multifaceted green that has a bunch of just different hues, I would say, in it, and I just absolutely love the depth of that color. But what you want to do is after that, you just wipe off any excess glitter. And I let the Mod Podge dry for about a good 4 hours. And then it was time to apply the white glitter to the rest of the cup. I prefer the epoxy method for applying glitter to any cup. In my previous tutorials, I've mentioned this a bunch. And so for this cup, it's no different. What I'm doing is I am just taking epoxy. This is a little extra ink epoxy, and just taking my finger and just lightly spreading the epoxy over the whole cup. So just a nice even layer. I didn't want to bore you with a bunch of that, like watching me do that, but just like taking my time around the geode and then let it sit for about 2 minutes. And then I came in with Dove. A Dove is another glitter from Boujie Glitter Boutique that I absolutely love. And since it kind of has some blue, it almost has blue reflective colors to it, I thought it really went well with this color scheme. But I'm just pouring it over the entire spot that I did the epoxy. You don't have to worry about any contamination into your other colors because you gave the Mod Podge plenty of time to dry, and you just kind of just let it go. Don't hold back. Just make sure that you get really, really great coverage. And then what I did here is I came in with just like a dry paintbrush and just brushed off any excess that might have gotten into the other colors. Now it's not going to stick to the other colors, so you don't have to worry about that. But I do this so when I let the epoxy, let the epoxy dry and go to spray seal it, you don't have to worry about the color sticking there. I went into a coat of epoxy, or actually 2 coats of epoxy before this step. And all I'm doing is I'm taking a metallic paint marker, which you see here, and I'm just wiggly and every so often outlining the different strips of the glitter colors. So just no straight lines, just following the glitter as it lay, and I'm outlining. So one thing to note that I am starting with the outermost edge of the geode, and I'm working my way in. The reason why I do this is because as I go further into the geode and I roll my cup, that last line has time to dry before I roll the cup and mess up the line. So I start out with the outside, and then as I roll, I move into the other stripes. Don't put your hands in it until you get plenty of time to dry. This is an acrylic paint marker, so it doesn't take any time for it to dry. This is just the method that I follow to get as few mess ups as possible when I'm doing the stripes around the cup. Now, I let the stripes dry for about 35 to 45 minutes. And again, when I say the stripes, I just mean the marker lines around the different glitter colors. And then it was time for epoxy. Since this cup already had 2 coats of epoxy on it before we did the lines on it, it only needed 1 final coat. I just forgot to record it, but for my final coat, I mixed up 15 milliliters of a little extra ink epoxy, applied it to the cup, torched out any bubbles that may or may not have appeared, and this baby was done. And oh my goodness, I absolutely love this cup. Funny story, I actually got a message when I was doing this cup live and sold the cup immediately. So Stephanie, I hope you love this. I finished it specifically for you. But as always, thank you for watching. It means so much to me. If you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see future videos. You can also ring the bell so you are notified for all future cup making goodies. Thank you again. I love you guys. Bye.